Hello students. So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chemical calculations. Okay. So this is our video number part 1. So in this chapter we will see different types of calculations regarding a chemical equation. So first we have to know about chemical reaction, and after that we have to know about chemical equation. So what is a chemical reaction? So already all of you have learnt about chemical reaction, that whenever one or more substances react, okay, and after the reaction one or more substances react with each other and produce one or more new substances, okay, by a chemical change. So and this actually happens, or this actually takes place with the rearrangement of atoms by breaking of the initial bonds and by formation of new bonds. Okay, so by the rearrangement of atoms we will get completely new substances or substance. So this is called a chemical reaction. Suppose initially we have these two substance, okay, one is AB, another one is CD. So AB is a compound and CD is also a compound. In AB we can see two types of atom, one is A, another one is B, and in CD we could see two types of atom, one is C, another one is D. So whenever they react with each other, and this reaction could be in presence of some conditions like heat, okay, temperature increase, pressure. So this type of conditions could be required for the occurrence of such a reaction. So after the reaction we will get new products, new substances. Okay, so how these new substances will be formed? So here the breaking of the initial bonds will take place and the formation of new bonds. So now new bonds will be formed. New bonds can be formed between A and C or by between A and D. Okay, so whatever here I am writing, AC plus BD, okay, AC plus BD or AD plus BC, that also could happen. So new substances are being produced by the formation of new bonds, right, by the formation of new bonds. So these are called products that are obtained after a reaction, and the substances which are participating in a chemical reaction are called reactants. These are called reactants and these are called products. Okay, so this is the chemical reaction. So next, what is chemical equation? What is chemical equation? So whenever any reaction which is represented by the symbols and formulas of all the substances which are involved in the reaction, so then that representation by using proper symbols and formula, that is called chemical equation. So suppose I am writing here that carbon, that already you know, carbon reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide gas. Okay, carbon reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide gas. So that was the concept. Now if we want to write it in terms of chemical equation, so then we must know their symbols and formula. So what is the symbol of carbon? C. What is the formula of oxygen? O2. Whenever they react with each other, they are forming carbon dioxide gas, okay, CO2. So now this is the chemical equation that we have written. Next, chemical equations could be balanced or unbalanced. What is balanced chemical equation? When the number of atoms on both sides of the reaction are equal So then it is called a balanced chemical equation. Just like here, what are the elements? Here two elements are there. One is carbon, another one is oxygen. So number of carbon atom is 1, number of carbon atom is 1, and number of oxygen atoms are 2. Here also number of carbon atom is 1 and number of oxygen atoms are 2. So that means the number of atoms for all the elements that are present in a chemical reaction are equal on both sides. Okay, so that's why this equation we could consider as balanced chemical equation. Okay, this equation now can be considered as a balanced chemical equation. But if the number of atoms on both sides are not equal, so then we have to balance it first, and then we have to carry out the other necessaries. Okay, so this is the concept of balanced chemical equation. Next, so now why the balancing is necessary for a chemical reaction? Why we need to balance a chemical reaction? Balancing is necessary just because to obey the law of conservation of mass. Okay, that was given by Lavoisier. So according to the law of conservation of mass, during a chemical change or during a chemical reaction, no matter are formed. Okay, matters are not created and are not destroyed also. Matters are neither created nor destroyed. So actually what happens during a chemical reaction, what happens, the mass of the reactants are converted into the mass of the products. As we are seeing here, that here carbon and oxygen react with each other to make the carbon dioxide. Okay, so that means the total mass of carbon and oxygen will be converted into the total mass of carbon dioxide, and no extra mass will be added here. So if we could check that what is the total mass of carbon and what is the total mass of oxygen on the left hand side, and on the right hand side what is the total mass of CO2, then this concept will be clear. So the so here one atom of carbon is there, so atomic mass of carbon. So finally, before it you have to know about their atomic mass. Atomic mass of carbon is 12 and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Okay, atomic mass of carbon is 12 and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So now here atomic mass of carbon, so here only one atom of carbon is there, so 12 gram of carbon is present. And how many atoms of oxygen are here? 2 atoms. So for one atom the mass of oxygen is 16, so for 2 atoms the mass of oxygen will be 2 into 16, that is 32 gram. Okay, so what is the total mass of the reactants? The total mass of the reactants is 12 plus 32, that is 44 gram. Okay, total mass of the reactants is 44 gram. Now for carbon dioxide, here also only one atom of carbon is there, so 12 gram plus 2 atoms of oxygen is there, so again 2 into 16, that means 32 gram, so is equals to 44 gram. So just to obey the law of conservation of mass, okay, according to which neither matters are neither created nor destroyed, the total mass of the reactants will be converted or is converted into the total mass of the products. So that's why on the left hand side we are getting the total mass of the reactant as 44 and here 44, so both are equal, so that means it is obeying the law of conservation of mass. So just to obey the law of conservation of mass, balancing is necessary for each and every chemical equation. Okay, next is theory of relativity given by Albert Einstein. Theory of relativity given by Albert Einstein. So according to Einstein, so it is not possible, or it could be there, to lose a very little amount of mass during a chemical reaction, because we can't assure it that all the mass of the reactants will must convert into the mass of the products. We can't assure it, okay, with 100% guarantee, because there could be the chances of the loss of mass, okay, might it be little. So there could be the loss of mass during the conversion of reactants to products. So the mass which will be lost during a chemical reaction, or the mass which is lost, which is disappeared during a chemical reaction, that will be converted into its equivalent amount of energy. Okay. So suppose A and B are the reactants and C and D are the products. Okay. So now suppose the total mass of the reactants, sorry, B, total mass of the reactants, this is, and this is the total mass of the products. So suppose the total mass is here 100.18 gram, and suppose this is 100.04 gram. So now we could see that a very little amount of mass has been lost, okay, during the chemical reaction. So what is the amount of mass that is lost? Lost mass, or the mass disappeared, is 100.18 minus 100.04 gram. So the value will be 0.14 gram. So that means this amount of mass has been lost during a chemical reaction. So where this mass has gone? Because as we know that neither the mass is created nor the mass is destroyed. So might it be, so it is the possibility that it might have been converted into any other form. Okay. So that means this mass should be converted into any other form. So that form is called the energy. Okay. It has been converted into equivalent amount of energy. So how we could calculate the amount of energy? By using the theory of relativity. Okay. That is E is equals to m into c square, where m is the lost mass, the lost amount of mass during a chemical reaction, multiplied by c square, where c is the velocity of light in vacuum, that is taken as 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So what is the equivalent amount of energy? That will be 0.14 into 3 into 10 to the power 10. You have to take it in the same unit. Okay. So by this way, we could calculate the amount of energy in terms of joule or in terms of arc. So by this way, we could calculate the amount of energy that will be produced by the loss of the mass. Okay. But actually, this amount of mass that will be lost during a chemical reaction, it is very low. It is having a very low amount. Okay. It is having a very little amount, so that it could not, this mass could not be calculated by using any weight machine. Okay. Just like by spring balance, we normally use spring balance to calculate the amount of mass. Okay. Or by any digital machine, whatever. But the mass is so small, it is so small, so that it could not be detected properly by any type of weight machines. So that's why this amount of energy that could also not be calculated properly. Okay. So this is the theory of relativity given by Sir Albert Einstein. Okay. Next thing that I am telling, that is the information that we got from a chemical equation. What informations we got from a chemical equation? From a balanced chemical equation. Okay, so what informations we can got? Suppose I am just first writing a reaction. Suppose a reaction that is Zn plus HCl. From there we are getting ZnCl2 plus hydrogen. So first we have to balance the equation, as 2 chlorine atoms are present here. So we have to write here 2HCl. Okay, Zn plus 2HCl. From there ZnCl2 plus hydrogen is being formed. So what informations we can gather from a chemical equation? So first of all we can see that what are the number of moles, what are the number of moles or the number of molecules of the substances which are involved in the chemical reaction. Suppose here zinc atom is present, because zinc is a monoatomic substance. So here 1 mole of zinc, or if you say it in terms of atoms or in terms of molecule, then 1 atom of zinc. Okay, here 2 moles, 2 is written, 2 is the coefficient of HCl. So 2 moles of HCl react with, 1 is coefficient, so 1 mole of zinc chloride and 1 mole of hydrogen. Okay, so 1 mole of zinc reacts with 2 moles of HCl to make 1 mole of zinc chloride and 1 mole of hydrogen. Now we could now calculate their molecular weights. Okay, if you know their atomic mass as well as the weight that are participating in the reaction. So first I am just showing their molecular weights. Okay, so what is the atomic weight of zinc? That is, atomic weight of zinc is 65. Okay, 65 gram is the atomic weight of zinc. Next, for hydrogen it is 1, for chlorine it is 35.5. So what are their molecular weights? So as zinc is a monoatomic molecule, so its atomic molecular weight is 65 gram. Okay, for this it is, for hydrogen 1, for chlorine 35.5. So totally it is 36.5 gram. For zinc chloride, for zinc it is 65, and for 2 chlorine it will be 2 into 35.5. 65 plus 71, that will be 5 plus 1 6, 7 plus 6 13, and for hydrogen it will be 2 into 1, because 2 atoms of hydrogen are present, so 2 gram. These all are their molecular weights. Okay, now we have to check. Now see why the balancing is necessary. Now if you add this 2 and this 2, that amount will not be equal. Okay, 65 plus 36, what will be the answer? 5 plus 6 11, 1 plus 3 1 4, 4 plus 6 10, 110 something will come, and here that is greater than this one. So that means first we have to balance the equation where we are getting the proper number of moles or the proper number of molecules, then we have to add them. So here 1 mole means this is the final answer. Here 2 moles is there. So what you have to do, you have to first calculate its molecular weight and then multiply this value with its number of moles. So here the value will be 73 gram. Here also 1 mole and here also 1 mole. So their values are okay. Their values are accurate, proper. So now calculate the total mass of this and this total mass. So that will be equal. Okay, that will be equal because of the law of conservation of mass. So that is the thing. So what are the things that we could get from their chemical equation? Their number of moles. Okay, their proportions. Proportion means what? That the ratio of the number of molecules of them. Okay, their number of moles, their molecular weight also we could get. Okay, as well as if they are present in the gaseous form. Okay, just like hydrogen is present in the gaseous form, so we could get its volume also. Okay, 1 mole of any substance when it is present at STP, so it is having the volume 22.4 liter. Okay, so from this relation we could get their volume also. So by this way we have to calculate the chemical equations. Okay, so in our next class we will discuss further about it. Okay, so I'm just ending my class here. Thank you everyone for joining.